Why did one of Diddy's own male escorts just come forward with chilling details about his secret freak-offs? For years, there have been whispers about the hip-hop mogul's wild parties, but now someone who was actually there is exposing what really happened. Ritualistic sex, drugs, power plays, and disturbing voyeurism. And if that wasn't enough, Diddy's legal team is already falling apart as his former assistant reveals even darker secrets. So, just how deep does this go? And why are people saying his empire is completely done? And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. So, before we get into all the insane details, make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications because the way this case is unraveling, more bombshells are bound to drop. Alright, let's get into it. At this point, you've probably heard all about the disturbing allegations piling up against Sean Diddy Combs. We're talking serious accusations, some involving minors, some dragging in big-name celebrities and corporations. But now, things just took another wild turn. One of Diddy's own defense lawyers just quit. Yep, walked away from the case like he wanted nothing to do with it. And get this, it's happening right before the trial. So, here's the deal. Attorney Anthony Rico officially filed a motion in New York federal court, basically telling the judge, yeah, I'm out. But when it came to giving a reason, he kept it real vague, saying, and I quote, although I have provided Sean Combs with the high level of legal representation expected by the court, under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel, meaning something shady is going on and he wants no part of it. Now, Rico swears his exit won't delay the trial, which is still set for May. But let's be real, lawyers don't just walk out on high-profile cases like this for no reason. And if that wasn't weird enough, there's already a viral TikTok claim floating around that he quit because of necromancy? Yep, people are actually saying Diddy is out here dabbling in dark magic. Sounds crazy, right? But hold that thought, because while the internet is busy with that, Rolling Stone just dropped another bombshell. They spoke to multiple people from Diddy's inner circle, and one of them, a male sex worker going by the name Nathan, just exposed exactly what went down at those infamous freak-off parties. And trust me, this is where things get really messy. Nathan, the male sex worker spilling all the tea, says the last time Diddy hit him up for a freak-off was in 2019. The plan was a threesome at one hotel in Miami, with another woman flown in from Hawaii. But apparently, that particular setup never happened. Still, Nathan claims he was paid anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000 per encounter. And according to him, these freak-offs weren't just wild parties, they were ritualistic. And when he says ritualistic, he means Diddy was out here choreographing every move like some twisted director until he got too faded to keep up. I think he would try to regulate her pleasure, Nathan told Rolling Stone. Now, here's where it gets even weirder. Nathan says he was often called to these lavish hotel rooms in Miami, NYC, and LA. Sounds glamorous, right? However, before things went down, he had to surrender his phone, strip, and grab a bottle of baby oil that had been warmed in a tub of hot water. And if that doesn't already sound bizarre, listen to this. He straight up refuses to touch baby oil to this day because of how much he used back then. He described the whole situation like some twisted sensory experience, freezing cold hotel rooms, locked up clothes, and warm baby oil as the only source of heat. But wait, it gets creepier. Nathan says Diddy wasn't always hands-on in these freak-offs. Sometimes he was just watching, and not in a normal way either. We're talking hiding in the shadows, lurking in corners, or using mirrors to spy. And get this, he'd even crawl into the room on the floor just to get a peek at his own girlfriends in action. Really creepy **T, obviously, Nathan said. Because it's like your girlfriend. Why do you even have to do that? And honestly, if this is the kind of stuff going on, it suddenly makes a lot of sense why Diddy's lawyers are tapping out. I mean, how do you even defend something like this? And just when you thought things couldn't get wilder, Nathan also spilled on Diddy's alleged drug habits. According to him, Puff had a thing for ecstasy and ketamine, claiming they gave him that ecstatic feeling he needs for sex. But here's where it gets really shady. Nathan suspects that at one of these freak-offs, Diddy actually drugged him. He described having a horrible reaction to whatever he was given, saying, "This stuff had me so out of my mind." And if that wasn't bad enough, he straight up called Diddy entrenched in his compulsions. He's a sex addict, Nathan said. An obsessive drug addict. Now, here's the crazy part. Diddy's legal team is out here trying to rebrand him as a changed man. They're saying, hey look, he willingly came to NYC knowing he'd be arrested. That shows he's trustworthy. Let him out on bond. But Nathan, he's calling BS on all of it. It's bullsh*T, he said bluntly. He's not reformed. He just wanted to get out of jail. He's the same person. Now, here's where things take a turn. While Diddy's lawyers have stayed real quiet about Nathan's claims, lead attorney Mark Agnifilo did reveal something interesting. He admitted that 6 male sex workers connected to Diddy were interviewed by the defense last September, and according to him, they were grilled with questions like, was anybody too drunk? Was anybody too high? Did anyone express hesitation? Was there even the slightest hint that a woman wasn't consenting? And what did they say? No, 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 no. But let's be real, this whole situation is already murky as hell. And now, another former insider is stepping forward with his own nightmare story. Enter Philip Pines, Diddy's ex-personal assistant, who just sat down for the upcoming bombshell documentary, The Fall of Diddy. And let's just say his account is absolutely disturbing. According to Pines, Diddy's infamous freak-off parties weren't just about wild sex, they were power trips. He broke down in tears, recalling how Diddy once ordered him to have sex with a woman at one of these parties. And get this, Diddy allegedly referred to himself as the FREAKOFFS king in charge of everything. Feeling trapped, Pines says he reluctantly complied, did the bare minimum to perform, and then the second his boss got distracted by the party chaos, he slipped out of the room. Now, if that's what it took to prove loyalty to Diddy, what does that tell you about the culture surrounding these parties? And if his own personal assistant felt pressured to participate, just imagine what else went down behind closed doors. And just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, Philip Pines drops another blow. According to him, Diddy and his chief of staff, Christina Coram, had him personally setting up hotel rooms, or sometimes even private rooms in Diddy's own luxury homes for what they called Wild King Nights. That's the name they used, though legal documents simply refer to them as freak-offs. But whatever you call them, these weren't just wild parties. Pine says the setup came with a full laundry list of things he had to arrange, and trust me, this was no ordinary checklist. We're talking drugs like ketamine and marijuana, bottles of baby oil, mushrooms, male libido supplements, and even Astroglide, the lubricant, of course. But that wasn't even the worst part. Pines wasn't just in charge of prepping the space, he was also the one stuck cleaning up after these freak-offs. And when Diddy called for an emergency cleanup, that automatically meant the room had been turned completely upside down. But Pines isn't just sharing his story, he's actually taking legal action. He's suing Diddy for subjecting him to sexual battery, harassment, sex trafficking, and other disturbing demands. And he's not sugarcoating anything. He straight up calls Diddy a predator, in a sexually charged, manipulative way. So why didn't he speak up sooner? Well, according to him, it was simple. He saw firsthand what happened when Diddy's employees pushed back. Pine says Diddy had no problem physically assaulting those who refused his demands. And as for those emergency cleanups, he describes them as one of the hardest things to do. At this point, there's no saving Diddy's empire. It's already in ruins. Right now, he's sitting behind bars at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, waiting to face trial on charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. And just to make things even weirder, TikTok is running wild with claims that his lawyer, Anthony Rico, quit over some kind of necromancy charge, but there's no real evidence to back that one up. Still, the bigger picture here, Diddy's legal team is running for the hills, more disturbing allegations are coming out by the day, and at this rate, the downfall of Sean Diddy Combs might be one of the messiest collapses in hip-hop history. And honestly, the way this case is unfolding, it feels like we're just getting started. With everything coming to light, it's clear Diddy's past is catching up with him fast. His inner circle is turning against him. The legal walls are closing in and the stories keep getting wilder. But here's the real question. Do you think we've heard the worst of it yet? Or is there still more lurking in the shadows? Let's talk about it in the comments. And if you want to stay updated as this case gets even crazier, hit that subscribe button because this is far from over. More truth is coming out every day, and you don't want to miss it.